Hello and welcome back to another game on Arena 1v1 between Hera in blue and MbL in red. It's an Indians war. Interesting because I don't really know what the meta about this civilization is on Arena, what the strengths are really, but we know that Indians have a very good economy, having cheaper villagers really helps out a lot, and then the go-to unit Imperial Camels, not sure if it's going to be relevant in the 1v1 here. But let's see how the maps are first. I'm starting 5 minutes in, or 4 minutes, 5 minutes in, because the game is not going to be a short one. It's going to take 1 hour and more as far as I remember. I didn't see the game. I knew they were playing, so I hopped into the game, started spectating, but didn't have the game open. So it's the first time for me to see this. I don't even know how it ended. I didn't see a GG call at the end, and so I'm really curious to see what the players are going to do here. Main stone and main gold for Hera safe in the back. This is awesome for MbL. Main stone on the side, main gold on the side, somewhere in the back. He's got 3, probably 4 Ibex inside. Not sure, maybe he lured one of them in already. For Hera, second gold also inside, quite safe actually on the side here. Second stone on the left hand side is outside, one really close to his base. This one also a little bit closer to him. Then he is luring the last of his Ibex, is going to house wall this just in case, and a third gold for him, quite far forward in comparison to the other resources, but it's alright. Wood lines for Hera not looking too good. This is the safe wood line for him. He could wall here, 2 pieces of stone wall, and this whole back area would be safe for him. I'm expecting him to do this later on. This snow leopard shouldn't do a lot of damage here. We have 4 MbL, third gold and second stone forward, one relic close to his base to the front, this one closer to him, almost in a neutral zone, and another one on the left hand side here, close to 2 snow leopards. Doesn't really matter. Second gold safe in the back for him, which is nice to have, and I think that's pretty much it that we need to know about this map. Now the question is what the player is going to do. To be honest, I'm expecting some scouts or yeah, archers, but Indians don't have arbalest. I think they had it in the first version of Forgotten Empires, possibly, or some time at least, but then they took arbalest away from those Indians, and that means no fast arbalest possible. I'm expecting to be stable now. Yes, indeed. Coming up for Hera here. MbL got the barracks up 2. He's going to 26 population, 25, 24 click for Hera. So it's a little bit earlier, quite early on actually. MbL will have better resources, but is going to be later up to Feudal and Castle Age. We have Market and Blacksmith coming up for him. Really surprising. No stables. Interesting approach. So he wants to go for a few spearmen here because he's expecting the scouts. And then possibly... no, a stable coming up actually, so he's doing 3 feudal age buildings. He's got the wood to do this actually, and he now has the food to click up the castle age. Both players on the way now. Was not expecting this, but it kind of makes sense here. MbL probably wants to balance his economy if possible or if needed, and therefore is going for that market as well. He went 2 more villages, so he should be fine in the regard. Is it 2 more? Maybe it's only 1 more, I'm not really sure about it. Looks like the scouts are on full HP, but Hera should be the one to get the first scout out, if he's actually producing. He probably got the upgrades first, doing double bid-X now, so he doesn't have the food to actually get scout production and the upgrades going. And now the first scout out for MbL, so he's going with 2 against 1 at this point in the game. Good for him. I guess the build order for him was a little bit better than, a little bit more thought out. And then what am I going to expect here? Of course, a little bit of a battle for the relics. I'm expecting to see no less than some micro with the monks and scouts, or even light cav, which is possible. And then probably booming from 3 or 4 TCs into Imperial Age. Then we could see hand cannoneers. It's a possibility. I'm not sure if it's going to be there in 1v1. Imperial camels would be awesome to have. Then Indians get hussars. They get fully upgraded cavalry, except for the night line, I think. And we have the halberdiers and champions, but they're missing some upgrade as far as I remember. Cav archers also an option, fully upgraded, path and tactics available, all defensive upgrades available, and bracer of course. So this would be really interesting to see. Indeed, skirmishes obviously also a possibility later on in the game. And siege-wise, they're not really too good, missing siege ram, siege archer and heavy scorpion, but getting bombard cannon, so maybe that's the go-to unit. TC coming up for Hera on the wood line on the right-hand side. He did actually wall up, but with a house only, and no 30C yet. First monastery is up, first monks are on the way, but MbL, oh actually the first monk is already getting a relic in, nice to see. MbL gonna face 3 of those scouts, and it's only scouts for now. Yes, on both sides actually. And MbL is gonna try to get some monks out, some relics in as well. He's got double monastery actually. Wow, monks for Indians not really too good. I'm a little bit surprised about this approach. Not sure. I guess they get atonement then, but no redemption, or the other way around. But it's not really a monk rush to fear. And then again, with 3 monks, this is going to be tough for Hera to battle actually, as there's also spearmen around, and MbL obviously can heal up his own scouts. Now the monks, the scouts are moving in, and the monks should actually die. We could see one conversion here. That monk is still going down. No, wow, that was one nice save for MbL. He wants to go for the relics here. Was later, but is going for double monastery. 2 relics already inside for Hera in his monastery, and he's gonna try and grab number 3, a relic that MbL should actually see. No, he can't. Look at this. He cannot see this relic as it's not in his side, and that means Hera is going to try to steal that away from him, but MbL is there with the scout. Actually, really nice catch here, and now he's moving forward with the villager to get a siege workshop up. He's got a 3rd TC upcoming on the main goal. The 2nd TC is already up on that small wood line, and the 2nd gold. Good TC spots in my opinion. And Hera is going to see that siege workshop immediately. Is again moving in with his light cav upgrade done for him against only scouts. Is it from MbL? And now Mangonel on the way, so Hera is gonna need to defend for a little bit longer. Not sure, do the Indians get redemption? We're going to find out soon. Hera has enough gold for that upgrade, but is going for another monk here, so we're seeing a lot of castle age battle actually. And Hera has a lot of wood in the bank. This is a quite unbalanced economy, but Indian's economy obviously quite good, as you don't require as much food. So we might see a fast rush to Imperial Age, and it is the redemption upgrade is available for the Indians, so I guess they're missing atonement. Sanctity probably done if available here, not sure. Yeah, Sanctity done for MbL at least, makes sense. And now the Mangonel is starting to attack that house, the weakest point on the wall, but there are 2 monks already waiting. Another monk trying to move out to grab that relic, but I think MbL with the scout here patrolling should not lose this, and yeah, he saw it in time, the scout actually patrolling into the monk here, and of course taking it down. Also another light cav here from Hera, not scouts but light cav, taking down a villager, which is very good for Hera as well, but the monk's moving out. Ooh, this was a mistake, misclick maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe he tried to start and convert the Mangonel, and the Mangonel went away and the monks followed up. That's possible, but a little bit of a waste, a bit of a mistake here for Hera. Hera has good resources, will be able to click up to Imperial Age rather soon. MbL halfway there, very important. I didn't see it, but I guess you spotted it already. And MbL is now moving forward with archery ranges. Are we going to see hand cannoneers here? Elite skirmishers? Or is it going to be cav archers in the end? University coming up for MbL as well. And now I'm interested to see what the players are going to do. They are playing Indians quite a bit on other maps like Arabia, Gold Rush, Steppe, I guess, or whatever is rated nowadays, and therefore should know how to play Indians. On Arena, I don't see them too often. Ooh, again, villager attacking, or attacking villagers by Hera, but the siege workshops are going up. I imagine we're going to see bombard cannons here. Question is, what is MbL going to do? Chemistry immediately, so it's gonna be hand cannoneers, bombard cannons, and few monks, a few scouts still up. There's 3rd archrange on the way. As for Hera, double stable up for him. Interesting. And is he going for archranges as well? Lots of them actually. And he's producing cav archers, so he's actually going for the cav archers against hand cannoneers. I guess we know how this battle is going to end, so MbL might need to add in elite skirmishers quite soon. Housed on 90 is MbL. Hera 102, and that's a nice population as well. Hera is 14 villages ahead, but still going up to Imperial Age, while MbL already there. MbL does not have a castle as far as I can see, and also doesn't have enough stone to get one, as he's not on stone at all. And I think Hera is building a castle next to the main TC, so he can go for the unique text, like Shatagni is available for the hand cannoneers, and that's what MbL is now going to do. Pikemen and hand cannons, halberdiers may be coming in soon. And the other one, I think Sultans, is giving you 10% faster gold income. Could be helpful when you have 3 relics, and also going for some gold on Hera's golds. I think they were quite safe, but they want to take as much gold as possible, of course. And now MbL is going with a really nice attack here. A nice combination of hand cannoneers, pikemen, and a few siege units, even a monk or 2 in there. And the cav archer is still waiting for some upgrades. +3 attack is done, +3 range, +4 attack, so chemistry also done, I think. Defense upgrade coming in, Bloodlines done, we're missing heavy cav archers and possibly Python tactics, as well as the defense upgrades. Another castle coming up on the left hand side, protecting that second stone. MbL is going with another monastery here. This is really interesting. Didn't expect monk play by on the Indians war, but maybe it's not a bad idea. Hera now has the mobility, can micro, can try to snipe those pikemen, as you can see it. He's doing it, taking like 4 or 5 down without almost even taking damage. Then again, MbL is moving in with the bombard cannons behind the mangonels and hand cannoneers. And he's doing some good damage. He managed to take down a monastery with the relics. He's almost in range of that castle, or the castle's almost in range of the bombard cannons. But he's obviously facing now light cav, even a few camel riders. I'm just gonna say camels here, and still a few cav archers. Hera on low resources, spending a lot. MbL actually looking good resource-wise, but needs more houses, and he is not daring to go in. He could see a lot of units from Hera, so maybe he was saying, I need more military units. Hera in the meantime is moving out to the extra stone and extra gold on the left hand side. Is there an extra gold on the other side as well? I don't see it. Not sure if there is a second extra gold on this map. I didn't check at the start. And TC on the third gold and second stone. I like this idea. This cav archer is not really doing a lot. And in the middle, MbL is still not daring to go in, but is grouping his army, and that's a lot of units, 54 in total. Military count 60 against 40, so MbL here a slight favorite. Hera, better population, a lot more villages, so that means he should have more resources coming in, and he's population capped almost, at least 195. And that means he should have a very decent army composition very soon, with heavy cav archers maybe coming up. Not yet, he doesn't have the resources, but he should be able to save up in a very short time. Going for more archery ranges. The thing is, MbL is pushing. He's got map control, still is controlling the middle, and he's going with the attack. But now Hera is trying to surround this enemy army, the pikemen against the hussars. But as you can see, the hand cannon is trying to take down the hussars. Actually, they're doing. Looks like MbL is able to defend here. He needs to follow up with more pikemen, maybe even with elite skirmishers, but he's staying on the hand cannoneers, and that's an interesting decision for me. As the players have gold available still, it makes sense. But yeah, elite skirmishers against the cav archers would be fine, but not against the SAR. So maybe hand cannoneers is not even a bad idea. Same range for heavy cav archers and hand cannoneers. Looks like Hera is able to defend though, and he's on a score lead by 1k actually. This is a lot. He has roughly the same military numbers, and he's able to push MbL back at least a little bit. I imagine a trebuchet coming up somewhere here and taking down some of those fort buildings would be nice, but he's spreading his economy on the left hand side, a castle even coming up on that extra gold, and Hera should have a lot of resources banked up very soon. We are 41 minutes in, and as I said before, the game is not gonna end within the next 20 minutes, so really curious to see how MbL is continuing to push here, trying to make his attack better, or actually he's giving it up and is moving back, which is interesting. I didn't expect MbL to just go back here. He's now building a few barracks on the left hand side, and maybe he's expecting a forward here. It's possible. Hera though is only going for economy. 158 villagers. Overchopping here, which is dangerous. I can see a lot of potential raiding coming up. And now the bombard cannons, 9 of them against cav archers. Heavy cav archers finally done. Missing the last defense upgrade, I think. Conscription coming in for MbL, attack upgrade, and later on the defense upgrade for light cav hussars or camels, and the last defense upgrade for the heavy cav archers on the way. Nice micro here by Hera, trying to go against the bombard cannons and the halberdiers that are not fully upgraded yet. The attack upgrade just coming in, and missing the +3, +4, but it's not a big problem usually. Halberdiers are quite cheap, so you can spam them. And actually the bombard cannons, I think, just took down the trebuchet. In the meantime, we have a capram from Hera attacking the monastery. The archer might go down. The fight somehow moved to the left hand side here, to the middle left, where we have 2 castles from MbL and also 2 castles from Hera, but it's the bombard cannons that are doing most damage. Siege engineers done by MbL, really nice to see, but expected at 46 minutes in the game. And I can't really say who is going to win this here. It's really close at this point in the game, and could go either way. That's what I like in these games. You don't know the end. It makes it's a lot more fun to actually watch and see what the players are going to do. As I can see, 1 trebuchet. It's a single trap as far as I can see here, but that single trap is taking down the castle. MbL starting to repair, but Hera is not going to give up here, and he's got a second trap around. He's got a few hussars and a good amount of heavy cav archers around, so it's not going to be easy to counter this. And the bombard cannons, 13 range, but that's nothing against the 16 +1 for the traps here. So I think that castle, and indeed it is, going down here. The heavy cav archers moving in, trying to snipe them bombard cannons, I imagine. I guess 1 or 2 got down. Was it a conversion here? Yes, 1 heavy cav archer for MbL. I guess that's the only one who's going to get this game, or maybe it's going to convert another 1, 2 or 3. Possibly, but I don't see any more monks around. Game is going fast again, but I can't slow it down. Too bad for me, too bad for us, but it's alright. Can see a big battle coming up, and it looks like heavy cav archers getting attacked by hussars. That's a fight you don't want to take necessarily. Bombard cannons, 3 of them only left, not too many, but they're still around, and more halberdiers moving in. A few hand cannons in the back here. I imagine the gold is going to run low for both players. MbL still taking, but you should go for elite skirmishers maybe if you're seeing that your opponent is going for more heavy cav archers. As for Hera, I would recommend, and he's already done it, elite skirmishers on the field. Very nice to see. Only countered by the hussars, but hand cannoneers not good against them. Ooh, what's this? Militia coming up. Is MbL going into a tech switch, or was that just a... I guess that was a misclick. Militia doesn't make sense at all. You don't have good champions against this army. It's just too expensive. The hussars should be good enough, and the heavy cav archers behind are doing a lot of damage then. But it looks like MbL has the better army here on the left hand side. What I didn't see, a few hussars moving forward, but there's no whole siege workshop coming up, and not so much left from MbL's forward, from his original forward. We are still seeing the battle around here next to the 2 castles, and it looks like MbL is sending in a lot of trash units now. Bombard cannons, and I guess he's just gonna go for a siege. And that's my phone. Okay, time to continue. Here goes the fight, and looks like military units running low for both players compared to what we expect, but population still high. And Hera again moving forward, MbL again moving against it. Halberdiers and hussars for him, and hussars and heavy cav archers from Hera. Technically, Hera has the better army composition, but MbL can afford to lose units. The KD for Hera should be better, but it's quite close at this point in the game. So let's see if Hera is going to transition into some halberdiers as well. Cavalry Rider was probably a misclick, and now it's MbL's time to attack a castle using 3 trebuchets, and Hera is trying to repair it as fast as possible, but that's not enough villagers. Then again, Hera is moving into traps, one of them going down to the hussars, and the heavy cav archers might even be able to take some trebuchet down, but it's the hussars that are doing the main damage, not enough halberdiers around, and that's actually 3 trebuchets gone, and the castle surviving on half HP roughly and still getting repaired. Very good effort by Hera. He's in a huge score lead, surprisingly. I'm not really sure why, but he has got 12k wood, 13k wood in the bank. Oh my god, this is huge. He opened the walls, or maybe they got opened by MbL, I'm not sure. And he again is overchopped on the right hand side. He's more or less open on the left hand side, so if MbL is deciding to go for some raiding one time or another, that might be a lot of damage coming up. MbL himself is quite safe. This is still closed on the left hand side, the overchop, but he might see this, and it looks like MbL tried to go for an attack here and is again trying to go for that castle. Another 3 trebuchets. MbL is spending all his gold on the siege, which makes sense here, and he is packing and going back. He's got 4 traps in total, but he does not want to get attacked again, so he's waiting for more army to come up. Losing 1 bombard cannon here on the open field, not too good for him, and also losing villagers that are building forward stables. He is actually starting to raid, going with a few halberdiers. I thought hussars might be better, but this is the first warning to Hera. We might see raiding later on. And now again, MbL moving forward. Again, wants to buy time to actually attack this castle. Hera kept the villagers around, now setting him back just as the castle is getting attacked for the next time. And 2 counter trebuchets, that's 1 going down. MbL has a difficult time to actually get this castle down. Could have attacked from the north, that might have been a bit easier, but then he would open his own castle, and that's something MbL does not want to allow, getting Hera, or giving Hera space and allowing him to attack his castle. Finally, the castle is going down. Another bombard cannon in the mix, 2 trebuchets left, and it looks like MbL is taking some good fights here. In the middle, a few villagers from Hera trying to take the 3rd gold, but hussars raiding, that's actually 1 gold. I'm a bit surprised that nobody's trying to claim it. I guess it's in the middle of the battlefield, or at least on the edge of the battlefield, and it's tough to take, especially seeing that Hera is busy to defend the left hand side here, and MbL is doing good progress. Now it looks like, even though Hera got the score lead, MbL has somehow managed to get the better fights here, and he is starting to raid again. Hussars, some in the middle I think, and some on the wood line here on the left, so Hera's base is not safe. Hera has stone, he could stonewall this, but he has his base opened up, and that's not too good, as he's never going to be able to counter raid. MbL, just in case, house walling here, does not want to use the stone, but I guess it's okay, the house should be enough, and the 3 trebuchets taking down what's left from this, let's call it forward here. A lot of farms that are idle, and Hera has 5k wood only, as he's starting to sell, as far as I can see. MbL, low on resources, but he's got a little bit of gold here. And he's going for guard towers now. I think I looked in the trajectory in the game before the game. I think we don't have keeps for Indians, but the guard towers are an interesting idea. Bomber towers, no, I don't think so. But with the guard towers around, I think MbL will strengthen his position here, and is going to have an easier time to attack that left-hand side of Hera's base. Also, what do we have here? No, that's Hussars from Hera actually. Now on the right-hand side, a few stables, and those Hussars are moving in. But again, that's not going to be easy to raid MbL, and I think that's something that Hera should have done some time ago. MbL population capped. And Hera the same, but MbL is the one who's making progress apparently. Interesting to see. Halberdiers, Hussars and Sieged. Trebuchets and Bombard Cannons. That's enough in this game, and this is really interesting to see. Hera is able to keep a good amount of heavy cav archers around. Keeping them alive is #1 priority, but losing the castles is something that you cannot allow really. 2 trebuchets now hitting those guard towers, and I think it's a good idea to go against them, because MbL is going to try to defend them, and you can maybe somewhat dictate the fights that you're trying to take. And Hussars again raiding. How's the villager numbers looking for Hera? 124, and MbL a little bit over 130, 134, 121 now for Hera. Hera should be good with resources. He's still got a lot of wood in the bank, but he cannot allow these raidings, and I think it's a mistake that he did not wall up. Like right here, again, Halberd is moving in. It's so easy to wall this. It's not really difficult to wall up in the front. You could go for a double gate or something, but Hera is not doing this, and I'm surprised, because MbL is using his chance here and is raiding from time to time. In the meantime, we have a trebuchet war now with a lot of heavy cav archers and Hussars for Halberdiers. The last guard tower is still standing, but for how long? That's a question. And forward building coming up for MbL. I like this idea, like the approach to go forward and have a shorter reinforcement distance. Now looks like MbL is packing up the trebuchets, going back, as Hera has the better army here and is trying to snipe the trebuchets now using the cav archers. He's gonna lose a few of them, but I guess that's worth the gold that they are costing, and he could even heal them up if he went for a monastery and one monk. Then again, Hussars, the main army now for Hera, and the Halberdiers are doing a lot of damage, so maybe elite skirmishers might be an option. MbL 175, Hera 156, and low on food. I think elite skirmishers in the mix would be good here. Halberdiers, I guess Hera won't have the gold in this game to go for helps, and I think MbL losing Halberdiers, as he was planning for a long game apparently and was expecting Hussars, I think that was a very good move for him. Those Halberdiers are doing damage, and the KD is in favor of Hera, but MbL can afford to lose those trash units. Hera, occasional resources, MbL population capped, he's producing a very good amount of Halberdiers, a few Hussars in the mix, and now he's moving in with a big Hussar army. There it is. Why do you keep this open? Ooh, I don't stand ground. This is not good. What's happening here? Is there a debug? No, MbL saw it, and Hera immediately sending the Hussars back, but in the meantime the Hussars on the left hand side are trying to attack the heavy cav archers. This raiding is what could be deadly for Hera. 1 hour and 12 minutes in, I don't really understand this. You could easily wall this, and MbL is now attacking the castle on the left hand side, as he used the Hussars on the right as a distraction here, was able to take down a few villagers, disturb the economy for some idle time, and now is using the 3 remaining trebuchets to attack that castle. Hera won't have stone forever, and he's running out of stone now. That means the castle will go down with the next volley of 3 of those, whatever they are, projectiles they're shooting, and bye-bye castle. Good effort by MbL. He is able to move forward with his army, with the trash plus trebuchets, and he's doing a lot of damage now. Look at this. I could see the forward before. There's a little bit of stone left actually. Hera might want to mine this, to be honest, but now he doesn't have castles left, or maybe one. Is there one more castle in the middle? No, that somehow went down. I don't even remember that. And 3 trebuchets now hitting the monastery, could go for the stables next. And as Hera is trying to defend the heavy cav archers underneath the gate, to go to safety. It looks like MbL has more military units, and that's 61 against only 31. So MbL is dominating the match now, and by using that little raiding, which was a big army to be honest, he was able to force Hera to move some of his army to the right hand side, and then he was able to take that castle. Now he has a free pass into Hera's base, more or less at least. On the left hand side, no more protection, 1 TC, but that's pretty much it. On the right hand side, Hera's finally walled, I guess, the houses, but now MbL has the fighting position he needs, and he's still got that army. Low on resources is Hera, except for what MbL, better with food and gold even, and has a little bit of stone left if he ever needs to repair some buildings. And as you can see, he's producing from these stables on the left, which are close to Hera's base. Trebuchet is now hitting everything. The market might go down even, and that's an important building in that late game. And it looks like Hera, even though he's in the score lead, is losing more and more control of this game. Hussars raiding again on the right hand side, villagers will fall, and I think it's time for her to call it GG. We're 1 hour and 18 minutes in, and MbL is just sending in units after units. You can see the KD here. Hera killed a lot more. That's like 150 more units that he killed and then that he lost or something like that. He's finally adding a few more elite skirmishers in, but MbL is just flooding in units, and you can see it here, villages going down, have to be garrisoned once again. And while MbL is on 133 villages with a very strong economy, Hera is below 100. This is never good. As you can see it, the resources are melting, and the trebuchets from MbL still alive, hitting everything that is in their range. And it looks like Hera might need to call it GG. He's not calling it yet, as he still has some fighting army, but that's going down as well. The Hussars moving in, and that's not too many heavy cavalry left, only 13. Soon a dozen, and he is calling the GG. What an amazing game, 1 hour and 20 minute Indian battle. I was surprised about the double monastery that actually stayed alive for the entire game, and in the end, Halberdiers and that raiding, I think, made the difference. Hope you enjoyed this one. See you in the next games.